my third graders. Welcome to our lesson today. So today we're learning all about countries around the world and how they celebrate. We're also talking about winter holidays. So we now are going to talk a little bit about Hanukkah, the Jewish celebration, and how it is celebrated. You should have watched a little video that's going to break this down also, but I wanted to read and share with you a little bit about the 8 nights of Hanukkah. At last, Hanukkah is here. Tonight is the first night. I'm Rebecca, and my family and I are getting ready to celebrate. Dad lights the menorah. Mom and I clean and polish it until it shines. My little brother Josh finds the candles. Then we wait for sundown. The sun has set. It's finally time to light the menorah. Dad is going to let me light the first candle all by myself. First, he lights the shama. That's the helper candle that lights all the others. Dad hands the shamas to me. Very carefully, I use it to light the first Hanukkah candle. Mom and Dad recite the blessings in English and Hebrew. We put the menorah in front of our window so everyone will see our Hanukkah lights. After dinner, Josh and I open our first Hanukkah presents. We both get new backpacks. We'll get another present from our parents each night, although not every family celebrates this way. On each of the 8 nights of Hanukkah, candles are lit at sundown. On the first night, the shamus is used to light one candle. Each night, the shamus lights another candle until all 8 candles of the shamus are lit together. These blessings are said each night when the candles are lit. And so I'll read it to you in English because I can't read the Hebrew, but it says, Praise be thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah lights. Praise be thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our ancestors in days of old at this season. So that's what they read when they light the second night. Tonight is the second night of Hanukkah. Josh uses the shamus to light 2 candles. Then Dad tells us the story of Hanukkah. A long, long time ago, in the land of Judah, the Jewish people lived peacefully. They believed in only one God and prayed in a beautiful temple in Jerusalem. But when a Syrian king named Antiochus became ruler, everything changed. He said the Jewish people should pray to many gods as he did. He said the Jewish religion was not allowed. One day, the king's soldiers traveled to the Jewish town of Modin. They asked a wise old man named Matthias to bow down to a statue of one of their gods. Matthias refused. Matthias, I think is his name. This made King Antiochus furious. He sent his men to destroy the Temple of Jerusalem and to punish any Jews who would not obey him. All might have been lost if it not had been for Matthias and his 5 sons. They gathered a small band of Jews to fight back. The oldest son, Judah, became their leader. He trained the men to be soldiers, and soon they had a small army. And do you know what they were called? Asked Dad. The Maccabees, I shouted. That's right, says Dad. They were so strong they were called the Maccabees, the Hebrew word for hammers. The king's army was huge. It had thousands of soldiers, but the Maccabees were clever. They hid in caves and made surprise attacks. Little by little, they began to defeat the king's army. Finally, after 3 long years, Antiochus' soldiers gave up. Judah and the Maccabees marched into Jerusalem. The people took back their temple and began working to make it beautiful again. They cleaned and polished the wood and stone, repaired the walls, took out Antiochus' statues, and built a new altar. At last, the temple was ready to be dedicated to God again. It was time to light the tradition 7-candle menorah, the symbol of the Jews' love for God. The menorah was supposed to remain lit at all times. but the people could only find a small jar of oil, enough to last for just one day. It would take 8 days to make more oil. The Jews were too excited about opening their temple again to wait. They decided to pour the oil into the lamp anyway. And do you know what happened? Asks Dad. The menorah burnt for 8 whole days, I answer. It was a miracle, said Josh. That's right, said Dad. It was a miracle that the oil lasted for 8 days, just enough time to make more oil. And it was a miracle that a small group of soldiers could defeat a huge army. And that's why we celebrate 8 days of Hanukkah, right? I ask. And that's also why we have a different Hanukkah menorah with room for 8 candles. Right, says Dad. The third night. Tonight is the third night of Hanukkah. Mom and I lit 3 candles. Then Grandma Esther comes. Every year, Grandma brings her special homemade potato pancakes. She makes the best potato pancakes in the world. Did you bring potato pancakes, Grandma? I asked. No, Grandma answered. This time I'm going to make my latkes right here, and you're going to help. Grandma takes out all the ingredients. Then we get to work. I help Grandma grate the potatoes and the onions. Then I mix in the eggs, flour, and salt. Grandma pours some oil into a big frying pan. When the oil is hot, she spoons small amounts of the batter into the pan. I went to help with this part, but the oil is too hot. Soon the potato pancakes are crispy and brown on both sides. Grandma lifts them out of the pan with a spatula and puts them on paper towels to drain. The latkes smell yummy. I can't wait to eat them. Grandma doesn't make me wait. She gives me a bowl of applesauce to dip them in, and I taste them. The fourth night. Tonight is the fourth night of Hanukkah. After we light the candles, Dad sends us on a treasure hunt. Josh and I searched the whole house for Hanukkah gelt. Gelt means money in Yiddish. I think Dad hides the best kind of money, chocolate money. I find 10 chocolate coins all wrapped in gold foil. Josh finds 7, but Dad gives him 3 more, so it's even. Mom makes us wait until after dinner to eat our chocolate money. Then Dad says, now let's see if we can find some real money. He hands me a folded piece of paper. Here's your clue, he says. I open it and read. What shines and flicks in the night to fill the room with glowing light. That's easy, I shout. It's the menorah. Josh and I run to the menorah on the windowsill. There is a small envelope right next to it. Inside is a $5 bill for each of us. The fifth night. Tonight is the fifth night of Hanukkah. After we light the candles, Mom, Dad, Josh, and I play the dreidel game. If you answered your questions, you would know this. We sit in a circle on the floor. Everyone gets 5 pieces of Hanukkah gelt. Dad puts 3 pieces of gelt in a pile in the middle of the circle. Then we take turns spinning the dreidel. On my first turn, the dreidel lands on the Hebrew nun. I get nothing. But on my next turn, the dreidel lands on the letter Gimel. That means I take the whole pile. Soon I win the game. And so you guys learned the dreidel song when you learned about Israel, which was, I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. The sixth night. Tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. Grandma Sarah and Grandpa Lou come over with their arms full of presents. First, we light the candles on the menorah. Then we open the presents. I get a soccer ball and bead-making kit. Josh gets a basketball and a building toy. We surprise Grandma and Grandpa when they see that we have presents for them too. They love the picture frames we made. And they make them using what's called the Star of David. the seventh night. Tonight is the seventh night of Hanukkah. When we light the candles this time, we're a little sad because Hanukkah's almost over. Josh and I put on a play for Mom and Dad about the Maccabees. I make my costume and help Josh make him. He is Judah the Maccabee, and I am one of his soldiers. The eighth night. Tonight is the last night of Hanukkah. We're having company again, and Josh and I are busy making cards for everyone. My favorite one is in the shape of a dreidel. After our friends and relatives arrive, we light the candles. We exchange cards and presents. Soon Hanukkah is over. I miss it already. I can't wait until Hanukkah comes again next year. And that is the end of our story. I hope you, one, enjoyed the story, and two, have learned a little bit about Hanukkah that you may not have known before.